Welcome back to the Curiosity Cave. This is episode 7, going through the exhibit cards that I have in my set. I've got probably 60% of the set complete with all the variations, working on the master set. Today we're going to cover Choo Coleman through Drysdale. And Choo Coleman, these are both cards that are included in the master set. And just so happened I got them autographed because those were the only ones I could find for a reasonable price. One of them is a 63 stat back, and the other is a 64, was printed in 64 and 65. And this, of course, the 63 stat backs are red stats. The next Coleman up is Gordy. This card was only printed in 1966, so it's one of the more difficult ones to find, and not a lot of people know that. So if you're looking for that card, should be able to pick it up for a reasonable price. It's got the dark background, as you'll see in the future. There's some dark background variations, but this is not one. And the final Coleman is Jerry, former Yankee great, San Diego Padre announcer. And this card was only printed in 1950. It's got the Made in USA on the bottom. And, well, it hasn't been confirmed. It's possible there's a 1952 black and white version. And I'm always on the lookout for the variations. And now we get to the Cooper brothers. Here's Mort Cooper, the pitcher. And his card was only printed in 1947. So it's a little bit tougher to get. And here's Mort's brother Walker Cooper. These are all 3 images of Walker Cooper. Of course, the one in the middle with the tape. If I run across a better copy, I'll replace that one. The one on the left is the only one that has Made in USA on the bottom. And that one was printed between 47 and 50. All 4 years. And then the one in the middle with the tape on it, that was printed in 51 and 53. That has no Made in USA on the bottom. And finally, the one on the right is the black and white version. And that has no printing, and that's from the 1952 black and white series. Roger Craig, probably more famous for being a Dodger or being a pitching coach. Here he is with the 2 different Roger Craigs from the exhibit set, 47 through 66. One on the left was printed in 64, 65, and 66. And then the one on the right is the 63 stat back. Long, illustrious career. He spent some time in St. Paul with the St. Paul Saints. Del Crandall. Nice old Braves logo uniform. Catcher's mitt. This card was printed in 1960. Black and white, and there's several variations of Del. This one you can see the A in USA is centered under his shoe. Other variation, there's a tan variation with the A centered under the shoe, and there's a tan version with the SA centered under the shoe. So yes, it does get nitpicky down that rabbit hole, but you know, it's variation. Joe Cunningham. Card on the left where he's with the Cardinals. That was printed in 1960 and 61. And if you do look up their records on the Baseball Reference or somewhere, teams don't always match up with when they played with the team. And then the one on the right is the White Sox version with the 63 stat backs. And the White Sox card is also available without the stats on the back. That was from 64 and 65. Guy Curtright. This was one of my final 15 cards I was trying to get, so I would have at least one card of every player. He was only printed in 1947. I'm down to 5 cards that I need to have at least one card of every player. So I got this one out of the way, and if you notice his name is spelled wrong, it should be Curtright without the W. And that misprint was never corrected. Here's Bud Daly, Kansas City Athletics. This was printed in 60 and 61. 60 is black and white. This is the 61. It's the tan background. Alvin Dark. Alvin has 4 different versions, possibly. It's unknown about the 52 black and white at this point with the Boston logos. I've got these two. One is the Giants, and one is with the C on the hat. The interesting one about the Giants, it's printed in 53 through 58. It has remnants of the cello wrapper. So this did not come out of a vending machine. This one came out of a cello wrapper. Somewhere between 53 and 58. And the card on the left was printed in 1959. Chicago. Murray Dixon, St. Louis Cardinals. He was only printed in 1947. So that's one of those cards that are a little tougher to get. And the same can be said for Bob Dillinger, Boston Braves. He was only printed in 1949, and you can see on the bottom it says an exhibit card, which is proper for the era. Sometimes I think I should just collect them by year, but you know, if I get them all, then I have at least one example of all the cards. DiMaggio. One on the left is the black and white version. That was only printed in 52. And then we have the tan version, printed in 47 through 51, and again in 53. Nice batting pose with a Boston great. Dominic. Joe Dobson. Joe was only printed in 1948. Another one of those are a little more difficult to find. Larry Doby. Larry has about 5 or 6 different cards. The ones I have here are the small projection 54 through 56 on the left, and the small projection printed in USA. Shows the P in printed is on the pants. On the large projection, the P and R are on the pants. Isn't that something? And these are unique. I believe this might be the only big release of baseball cards that show a player in his Negro League cap and uniform. Of course, the Exhibit Supply Company airbrushed out the Newark Eagle emblem on the cap and the Newark off of the jersey front. There's an actual photo out there that shows this exact picture with the Newark Eagle emblems, Newark Eagles emblems on his jersey and hat. And of course, he's a barrier breaker, first African American in the American League. July 4th, 1947. Here you're looking at the Bobby Doerr rainbow. 1947 and 48 is the one on the right. There's no printed in USA on it, and it's tan. The one in the middle is 1952, and it has an exhibit card on the bottom, and it's black and white. Then the one on the far left has an exhibit card. That was printed in 49, 50, and 51. So there you go, the Bobby Doerr rain. Dick Donovan. One on the left is from 1958 with the Braves. One on the right is the black and white version with the White Sox from 1960. Here we have another rainbow, so to speak. Walter Dropo. Card on the left is from 1951, 53 through 58. Card in the center is the dark border on the bottom. That was only printed in 1951. The one on the far right is the black and white version from 52. Dandy Don Drysdale. This is a black and white from 1960. He has 2 different poses and 4 different variations. He has a 63 stat back that shows him pictured with a glove to the waist, and he also has a blank back version of that. And this one also has a tan version that was printed in 59 and 61. So hope everybody's enjoying this, or at least finding it informative. If somebody's looking for a certain exhibit card or has any questions, please let me know, and I'll help you as best that I can. Thank you everybody for watching, and see you later.